Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I am your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I am joined by Kyle Decker for a game of Cut to the Chase. Cut to the Chase is a two-player role-playing game we've played before on the show, in which a hunter and their prey engage in a high-speed chase scene. It is extremely cool, it is extremely easy to pick up and play, and really even fit into your own, home game of choice. I think it's a really cool game. But the reason that we're featuring it today is that today, Tuesday, March 12th, Cut to the Chase is going live on Kickstarter for a larger print book, including brand new art, layout, and content, including guest-written chase scenarios by Kyle Decker, friends of the show like Tracy Barnett and Kira McGran, and not for nothing, but me. That's right, I have written a scenario for the book. It is called The Money's in the Chase, and it is professional wrestling themed, because, listen, I have to stay on brand. You understand. As if that was not enough of a recommendation, I really think you should go and help make this game a reality. I think it is a super cool, interesting, fun game. You can find a link to the Cut to the Chase Kickstarter in the show note. In addition to being a writer for the game, Kyle Decker is the GM and editor of Quest Friends, a Numenera actual play podcast, which promises action, adventure, intrigue, drama, and a little bit of lighthearted comedy along the way. You can find that at questfriends.podbean.com. Speaking of Kickstarters that are dropping today, March 12th, let me take a moment and tell you about Capers Noir. Capers Noir is the latest game from Craig Campbell, who created obviously the original Capers, as well as Murders and Acquisitions, Die Laughing, and a bunch of other games. Capers Noir takes the rules to the original Capers and brings them into a world of film noir mystery and intrigue full of mobsters and fatales and hard-boiled detectives, monsters, mysteries, you name it. If you are a fan of the original Capers or of film noir storytelling, I think you'll really dig this. You can find a link to that as well in the show notes. And with all that said, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am joined by Kyle Decker. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So, real quick, at the top of the show, why don't you take a moment and let the audience at home know about any projects that you're working on that you might want them to know about.
Yes, so I am working on I wrote a scenario for a little game that you might recognize from the title of this episode called Cut to the Chase. And we'll explain that in a lot of detail in a short while, because that's what this entire episode is.
Yes,
so I wrote a scenario for that based on the kind of Tom and Jerry Roadrunner cartoons. And then in addition, I do an actual play podcast called Quest Friends. You can find it at questfriendspodcast.com. Our tagline that I just always use is Friendship, Family, Spiders.
That's a good tagline. A solid tagline. So yeah, this week we are playing Cut to the Chase. It is a game about chase sequences. We played it a few months ago for the show, and now a revised edition is on Kickstarter with additional scenarios. Kyle, you've written one about Tom and Jerry cartoon shenanigans. I have written one that is the most on my bullshit thing that I have ever written, that is about professional wrestling. It is I am very, very excited. I've looked through the scenarios in the book. They are cool and interesting, and the game is the book is, it's super cool. It is on Kickstarter at this very moment. Go and back it after you've listened to this delightful episode. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to play this game once again.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this game, not now, but multiple times, with how, versatile it is.
Yeah.
Because, all the pictures make me think of, Jekyll and Hyde and, dramatic, old-fashioned chases.
Yeah, and I the thing that I like about it is, I said this on the last episode that we played, but, I could see this fitting into, another game that I was playing, right? If we were involved in a chase scene, I could see just opening this up and playing it in the middle, almost in the middle of a session, because it plays so quickly that, you could play it and then get back to another game and just play out what happens with the chase.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's get into the game. We are going to be creating our own scenario today. You can read the scenarios that we have written on the Kickstarter when you back it. But today we're going to be creating a brand new scenario. And the first thing that we're going to do is create the setting, is decide who we want, what we want to do, what type of tone, what type of setting, what place and time, and cover all of that stuff to sort of create the story of the chase scene that we are playing out. So, do you have a specific preference about, tone, genre, setting, etc. that you would like to play out a chase scene in?
Yes, I had an idea that just sprang to me out of the ether.
Excellent.
When you were talking. And I'm disappointed I didn't write this one, actually. the chase, the origins of the chase in our modern lexicon and our modern understanding, was done in the early 20th century with vaudeville shows. Mm-hmm. I want to do a black and white piano in the background vaudeville chase.
Okay, excellent. I love it. I'm all in on this. I am 100% in on this. So we are doing a black and white piano in the background silent movie vaudeville chase. So the next question is, would you like to be the hunter or the prey in our scenario?
You know, when I usually DM, I'm usually the one doling out the beatings, and I think today I should get it. And in a vaudeville chase, I feel like that's going to be actually the hunter, the one who will get the short end of the stick.
That sounds right. That feels right.
So I will be the hunter.
Okay, I will be the prey, and I think I feel like my initial pitch for the prey is going off of like the Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin figure. I think that I am a scoundrel, like a clever dine and dasher, right? That's my initial pitch, is that I have stolen a delicious steak dinner or like a pie off of a windowsill, and I am trying to abscond with it and eat this delicious meal.
I love it.
I think my name might just be the Scoundrel.
The Scoundrel. All right, we have the Scoundrel, and then my pitch would be, I actually really love that idea, because my first thought was, you know, you get one of those, the best word I can think of is like a bruiser. You know, the guy who, the first time he appears, he like puffs up his chest and he rolls back his sleeves. But now my pitch is that I am still that same character, except my character is the chef from the restaurant you stole from.
Yep, exactly right. I imagine you've got a big rolling pin.
Oh, yes. I'm marking that down as I get to have like things that help me. I'm writing down a rolling pin right now as one of my things.
So I am looking, what's my specific destination that I am running towards? I think I am running towards, my goal might just be to get away. It might just be to get far enough away that you have decided that you want to run back to your restaurant rather than continue to chase me. I don't think I have a specific destination in mind.
Yeah, I feel like, especially in the vaudeville things, like, your destination is, ironically, since I'm the hunter, me being, like, taken out of commission almost.
Yeah.
So just a dramatic enough place that it will make sense that I get defeated.
Yeah. And so this is sort of in a black and white scenario. Like, I'm going through the questions, specific landmarks that we want to include. I think this is very, like, a very big city environment. So there's a lot of, like, train cars and skyscrapers. Maybe we're on top of a building at one point. A lot of big city things, and I think that the environment, the landmarks, all of those kind of things are all kind of big city landmarks, you know, shops, outdoor markets, stuff with a lot of set pieces that can explode.
Yeah, I think the only thing that you would not find in a typical city that we would need to have here is the prototypical two guys or two people holding on to like a piece of glass, just a wall of glass, walking across the street.
Yep. Okay, so we've got a picture of what our chase is. Let's lay out some resources. I have 2 resources and you have 3. My 2 resources are, what do I have? I definitely have friends in low places, which is to say, like, I think, or maybe, no, I think, you know what I think I have? I think I have, like, I'm gonna go with friends in low places, but specifically they are cats and dogs and other, like, city animals that will come to my aid at, like, a dramatic point.
Okay.
And my other resource is, I'm gonna go with Master of Disguise. And the reason that I'm gonna go with Master of Disguise is because I'm picturing it as one of those very cartoony, like, I run into a door and I come out wearing a chef's outfit and then suddenly, like, I'm just the chef here and you just run by and then, like, I take off the chef's hat.
Are you just gonna take over the restaurant? Is that the new goal?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I could switch into a lot of different outfits as like, it's like, oh, I'm a janitor. I'm just here sweeping, and then I take off my hat and it's me again.
Yeah.
I think that's my second resource. What are your resources?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it because I'm torn between 4, and I'm going to mention what the 4 are, and then I'll cut one of them. I think I'm going to cut strength. He's a burly guy. So we got strength and we got rolling pin. Mm-hmm. One other one is I feel like this is a thing where like the chase is going on and you just go and he just like whistles and suddenly a car appears out of nowhere and he drives off on it.
Yeah, I like that.
And the other one I like is I am a defender of the status quo here. I may not be the protagonist, the good person, but I'm the one with which society looks fondly upon as I give them their food. And I just imagine that I'm, like, my character could theoretically, like, go to, like, the police, and then suddenly you just see, not, like, actual police, but, like, the like, really foppish ones that, like, have the, big round hat, and they just go, hup, 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 hup. I really just want those guys there.
I think they gotta be there as like a set piece.
So I think I'm gonna do the rolling pin, the car, and then the status quo, I'm gonna call it, / hup hup hup. And I will cut out my strength because I'll find a way around it. Okay,
I like it. And okay, so that's our setup, and now we are ready to start the game. So, the way this is going to begin, we begin with a prey scene. Prey scenes are me trying to outrun you. We have started, I think the intro is, what's the dish that you're making that I have absconded with? And I think I am running off with it in hand, as opposed to having eaten it and then dine and dashed. Because I think the end goal is for me to get somewhere and then eat the thing.
Yeah, I think let's combine situations here. Combined scenarios. So I'm a chef, but I'm a chef who has made a personal pie for himself. So you see it pull out, and you see him like do the thing where he picks it up and he takes this big old sniff and he's happy and he just sets it on his windowsill, ready for thieving.
I love it. And yeah, and so I think I come up behind. You turn your back to work on something. I come up behind. I grab the two little edges, and I like very daintily like sneak off, and then a card pops up. The chase begins.
I really wish I could do ragtime on the fly, but I cannot.
And so now we begin with a chase scene, and the chase scene here is me trying to like sneak out of the restaurant, pie in hand. And, like, it is a crowded restaurant. There are waiters carrying things. There are people sitting. There are tables upon tables upon tables of people sitting for a fine dining meal. And I'm just trying to, like, shuffle through it as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And I think that's enough of an obstacle to set up the escape right now. Is the fact that it's just, like, a sea of people.
Right. Oh, well, in the future, I shall remember this. Prey scenes are supposed to start with you setting up the scene. But I feel like we kind of hit that nice little collaborative space.
Yeah, no, I think that was...
we'll remember that, though.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sneaking through this crowded restaurant. I'm going to abscond with this pie, get out of the restaurant, and get on our way. I'm going to choose a prey action. I'm going to obstruct. And I'm going to obstruct. I'm going to step into a closet. I'm going to look around. I'm going to see you start to get angry. I'm going to step into a closet, step out of the closet in my full waiter's gear. With a tuxedo and tails, carrying the pie like it's a dish. And the way that I'm going to obstruct is I'm going to, move from table to table, like grabbing, swapping plates off of people's hands, handing people the wrong dish to basically incite like a restaurant riot.
So you're obstructing by starting a riot.
Yeah, by basically getting people so confused of like, I got the wrong order. I haven't gotten my order yet. And, like, taking plates off of waiters' hands and putting on another plate and, like, doing a lot of spinning on my heels, like, here you are. Well, this isn't the right dish, and then I'm already off to the next table.
I love it so
Causing
much.
chaos so that you cannot get to me because you have to try and solve this chaos.
All right. Yeah, I love it.
So, When I obstruct. When I've made my action, here I am obstructing, I am causing this sense of chaos. Now I'm going to roll 2d6, take the highest result, and use that to basically describe how successful or unsuccessful this is. That is a 6, which is a success. On a success, I gain 1 separation, so I get away from you, and you are obstructed. So what is my initial separation? Is it at 1, or is it at 2?
It is 2, and then I think it goes down.
The prey starts ahead of the hunter, which is represented by a separation of 2. The separation will always go down 1 at the end of a round. A round is made up of a hunter scene and a prey scene.
Okay.
So I am currently at a separation of 3.
Yes, you are coming out of the starting gate. You've taken my pie, and now you're already kicking me while I'm down. I haven't even realized the pie is lost yet.
Mm-hmm.
What a rapscallion!
You turn around, the pie is gone. And more importantly, like, you look out at your restaurant, the doors, you see me wink at you with the pie, and people are just starting to throw food, and it is chaos.
Yeah, I think it's like we're in the early days of audio, where there's not much, but you have enough to hear like a distorted, "What's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so it is chaos. You may start the scene wherever you like, unless you've obstructed me, which you have. Cool. Is there anything else you have to set up before I try to respond to it?
I think that's the setup. I think it is the restaurant is in chaos. It is a disaster, and your restaurant is in shambles, and your precious pie has been taken.
Okay. And if the hunter is misled or obstructed, I must respond to that. I honestly, the chef, I don't think he's a proactive guy anyway. I don't think he would know what to do if he didn't have a direct thing to respond to. So if I am obstructed, I must overcome the obstacle. I attempt to get past the obstacle left by the prey. Honestly, I'm trying to think about what I want to do. My first thought would be, my first thought was to have him, like, yell and just get everyone to silent and part the seas. But this is not a guy who commands respect. This is not, he is just doing his best, and that's all he can do. So honestly, I think he's literally going to just try to muscle through the crowd, just, like, pushing people to his left and to his right. And, like, he heaves, like, a puff of smoke comes out, because now we're a cartoon, I guess. And I roll a 6.
On a success, you overcome the obstacle.
Yeah, so you just see the sea of people just, like, getting pushed to the left and to the right. Potentially I'll trip over, I don't know, a small child or something. But I make it through, I make it out. I look around, and the prey is nowhere to be found, but I am still on his trail. Or maybe, actually, no, I think it's probably better. I turn around and you, like, I see you just whip your way around a corner.
Yeah. And so that ends round 1. We go into round 2. The separation drops down from 3 to 2.
You are 2 away. All right, I need to set
the scene. Set my next prey scene.
Yeah, set your next pre-scene. All right. So, and let me tell you if this is narrating your character a bit too much. But I think the first thing someone would try to do is get a taxi, because that's the fastest way out of there.
Yeah.
But you are, even if I am the one who gets the brunt of the jokes, you are still a Charlie Chaplin vaudeville protagonist, which means that things have not necessarily going to go the best for you physically. So I'd say you have gone down the alley, you feel very confident. You are now at another street, you are trying to get a taxi. But there was some unfortunate water. Actually, no. Let me think about this. Yeah, you're trying to get a taxi, but you have slipped on some water, and now you are kind of in between the cars on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get past, and yeah. Let's just start there.
So I'm in the middle of... So you're saying I'm in the middle of a crowded highway and I need to get past the highway. I'm surrounded by cars.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Good. In that case, I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to mislead.
Ooh.
I think what I'm seeing, what I see as the next visual is that you have come to the curb, right? And you are just standing there feeling very smug. And like I stand up and I look and I've got the pie in my hand. And the pie, despite me slipping, is flawless as ever. And I like give you the little like twinkle wave like and then a car passes and I am gone. And then another car passes, and I'm further along the highway. And it's like I'm popping up sort of Frogger. I'm just popping up as cars are coming and going. I'm just popping up at different points on the highway. So now I'm going to roll to see how this goes and see what the end of the set piece is. That is a 4. That is a 3. A 4 or 5 is a progress. Which means, on progress, I gain 1 separation. You are misled, but you get +1 to your next roll.
Okay, I get a +1.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I think what happens is... I'm trying to decide what I think the ending of this is. I think the ending of this is that this happens for a bit, and then no cars, like, come... But, like, no cars come, but there's, like, there are, like, 3 plants, maybe 3 streetlights along, like, along the road. Because I'm picturing this as sort of a 4-lane highway with a divider.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so there's, like, three, like, and there are no cars now. Like, the red lights have hit on both sides, so there's no cars on this stretch of road. And there are 3 streetlights that are exactly as wide as I am.
So you just, I see you run behind one, and then
you know, you haven't seen me run behind one, but you know I am behind. There's only the only place I can be. That way you have the advantage. You are misled, but you have the advantage. Because where could I be? I mean, other than these 3 obvious places.
I mean, I don't know if he would think of that. We'll see. All right. I love it. So. If I am misled, then I need to start the scene with that situation. Although I suppose it could advance to later. All right, let's see what I'm supposed to do if I'm misled.
If you are misled, you must find the trail. Use your knowledge of the landscape to get back on track.
Okay, so I have to do some real hard thinking here. Like I have to sit there like. And, like, think real hard and try to piece it together. Like, he couldn't have gotten anywhere on this highway. There are only 3 things in my... 3 things he could hide behind. I need to put those puzzle pieces together. Which is not mocking my character, because honestly, I don't know if I could as a person. Let me see.
This has just gotten very weird.
Okay, so, I got a 3, and that includes the bonus.
Okay.
So that's a failure. So a failure means -1 resource and -1 on your next roll, but I am back on track. So I am gonna use the car resource. I'm gonna use the car resource, and I'm gonna say that I did not piece it together. Mm-hmm. So my character, the chef, runs out, you hear, and you see just this old-fashioned car with like probably 5 other chefs from different restaurants roll up. And I jump in, and we drive off in the chase. And as I do, I just look around. I just turn behind me, and I just see you like, tee-hee, just like looking at me from behind one of the street lights, because I did not see you until I was already driving down the road, and you hear another what, and then I did close the gap, because I automatically do. We are at 1 separation, but I'm very mad, and that's gonna affect my next roll.
Yep.
All right. So let's set the scene with you. So we've done the place, we've done the street. How many rounds is this? This is 4 rounds, right?
4 rounds. So this is round 3 of 4.
Okay, I think we need to start making our way towards the climax.
Yeah, and so I think. Oh yeah. So describe the scene for me.
Okay. Oh, did you have a place in mind?
No. I'm just thinking now. I think if we're moving towards the climax, I think this is when I'm starting to like find places, like find back corners and things where I'm going to start eating this pie.
Amazing. I think let me see. I think the situation as it would be is maybe you've run down an alleyway and you're right next to the Grand MacGuffin Hotel, and you go in and you're about to take a bite into the pie, and then you hear like the bang and the pop of this vehicle as it just parks up, and and you're like, oh well, crap, I can't eat the pie here, and so you run into the Grand MacGuffin Hotel, which is just an assortment of places, an assortment of people all over the place, and you're running up to the front desk trying to get away in the Grand MacGuffin Hotel, and you just see, one of those really tall guys with a thin mustache, and it's just like, and then a text pops up, says, "Sir, what is your reservation for tonight?" And that is the obstacle I'm going to set up for you.
Sorry, you cut out. What does the sign say?
What?
Sorry, you cut out. What does the text card say?
It basically says, what is your reservation for tonight? Because you ran in, so they think you're a guest, which you are not.
Oh, for sure. So I think that I am going to. I think so. We're at a separation of 2, because I gained 1 separation and then it went down at the end of the round. So if I just hang loose, I think I can win this. So I think I'm going to think fast.
Wait,
and I think what I'm going to say.
Sorry. Oh crap! You are.
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
We were at. Sorry, we started at 2. I gained 1, lost 1, and then gained 1, lost 1 last round for misleading.
Yeah, you just have to hold me out. Anyways, continue.
So I just gotta hang loose. I just gotta like hold on, and then I can avoid getting caught. So I think I'm gonna think fast and try to sabotage you a little bit.
Okay.
And I think what I'm going to say is I think I'm holding the pie, and I look at him, and and we get a shot of him, and a shot of the pie, and a shot of him, and a shot of the pie, and I puff out my chest and I say, "Bing! I'm here to deliver this pie for the grand banquet."
Oh no! I'm gonna ruin a banquet.
And that's gonna be my thinking fast, because yeah, well, not only are you going to have to ruin a banquet, but they're going to cut up and serve this pie for me. And then I just grab a piece and call it a day. That is 2 5s. That is, I'm going to gain a separation, put us a separation of 3, and gain a success, which takes a -1 to your next roll. And I think that what happens is I say that, and they take the pie, and they whisk me off, and they're like, "There's much to do. There is much to do." And they whisk me off to like a back where they like start shoving me, and then there are chefs grabbing the pie and chopping the pie, and we get kind of an assembly line of slicing up the pie, and they're making like dozens and dozens of slices out of this pie, and it's very cartoonish. And I'm just like,
I went into this knowing I picked the hunter specifically for this scenario. But I am at 3 separation with a -2 to my next roll.
Yes.
I have not felt powerlessness like this before. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I should just give you the pie. Anyways, I love it. So what's the situation for me once I've barged in demanding my pie?
The situation is you see it being handed out to people, and you see them putting in their napkins, and like you see this pie that you have worked on being served to dozens of people, and they're like this pie that you are going to eat, and you just see me like sneaking over to where all of the extra slices are that are being handed out, and I'm just like
All right, I need to take a moment to actually like see what my actions are, since
oh yeah, this is the first time you get to choose your action.
Yeah, so I can either take chase, where I have the trail, but I already have the trail, I see you. I can take a shortcut, or I could plan to hedge. You know this could happen. Expected it, really. What did you prepare for it? I like it. This is the last act twist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the last act twist, and I'm going to say that I am there, and I'm like, you think, I mean, I don't say this because it's black and white, but, you think you're so clever. Well, little do you know that I've been sucking up to these chefs for years. And
we definitely get a montage of you, like, being taught by these chefs, and then, like, giving you pats on the shoulder.
Yeah, and so, I love it. I made the pie. This was supposed to be my big, like, impression pie. Like, I've finally done the pie I've been working for years on. I've mastered your recipe. And so, in his mind, the chef believes that he'll be able to just snap his fingers, and then suddenly everything will overturn, and all the chefs will just converge on your character. That is what he thinks will happen. With a -2, I do not believe it will. But we can find out. My character walks up, proudly claps his hands like, "Hey, listen to me. You are going to help me." He uses up his status quo resource, and the chefs just look at him. And then one of them gets up, and the ground shakes with his, like, presence. And then he starts walking over to me and scolding me because I got a 2.
Oh, no.
So you get a +1 on your next roll, and I lose 1 resource.
Oh, no.
I guess we're down to 2 separation.
Yep.
Hooray.
And now we're on our last turn.
Our last turn. I think at this point the pie has been eaten. I think we are fighting over 1 slice. Or potentially I'm just out for revenge at this point. I don't even know.
I think that, like, I'm literally cutting the, like, I all I have to do, if I may propose the scene here.
Yes.
Because I think that since this is the last round, I think literally, and this is the last prey scene and the last hunter scene, I think literally I just have to get to that table as you're being scolded. I think I see you, and I see that table, and I clap, and I'm going to grab my fork and knife to grab the slice of pie to finally eat it.
I love it. And I think the reason with such a head start you haven't gotten to it already is just you were sitting there preparing to eat. You grabbed your fork and knife, weren't satisfied with them, set them down, and just grabbed a bigger pair of fork and knife. And now you're happy. Now you're ready to eat, and you're on your way to that pie.
And now this is going to be my outrun as I'm just heading for the pie, right? This is me getting to the pie. But I think that I have to get through, like, I have to get through a line. And again, it's another crowded banquet hall that I have to navigate through. And two guys walk by with a tray of cream pies, but I don't want those pies. Those are cream pies. This is a fruit pie, and I want that. So they're walking by that I have to, like, narrowly get by them so that we get that big potential set piece. Also, there's tons of food and stuff, and one wrong move is going to cause a calamity. That's, I believe, progress. Nope, yep, that is progress, which means 1 separation, and you get a +1 on your next roll. So I think I narrowly dodged the pie, I narrowly dodged the tray of pies, and I narrowly dodged someone carrying a roast on a little covered dish, and I get the pie, and I spin around, and I spin around, and, like, we are, like, dead. Like, the seas have parted, and there's just the two of us face to face with me with the pie and the fork. Blank expression on my face, like...
Alright, we are face to face, and I pull out my last resource, a rolling pin, and I just am, like, steam coming out of my mouth, my nose, my ears, as I just slam it into my fist, and I am ready to Take chase. I have the rail. Push up to catch the prey. Technically my only chance of succeeding would be to take a shortcut, where I get -1 separation, but I'm going to treat it like I am taking chase.
Yes, yeah. The shortest distance between two points is a straight line.
Yes, I'm taking a shortcut through everyone, which at a fancy buffet, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't picture you fitting in here. You've got like a package of cigarettes under one sleeve.
Amazing. All right.
5 o'clock shadow. And remember, you get a +1 on this. And an additional +1 because you invoked your rolling pin.
Well, isn't this interesting? I got double 5s, which means I'm able to decrease the separation by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a shortcut decreases the separation by 2. And the end of my turn decreases the separation by 3.
Which means we end with a clash.
We have to clash, which is really cool for showing off the mechanics.
Yes, we end with a clash.
All right, we have both. I'd say we both made it to the pie now. It is ready to who gets the pie.
Okay, so we're each going to roll. So yeah, you're coming at me. I'm holding the pie. We clash. We both roll 2d6. 2d6 or 1d6?
2d6.
Yes. The highest compare the highest dice from the winners. My high dice is a 6.
What was your high dice?
A 6.
My high dice was a 5.
So I think you run, and at the exact last moment, what should impede you but those two gentlemen and that tray of pies?
No!
You trying to stop and no! Crash
Defeated
into
by
the pies.
inferior pies?
Pies are flying everywhere. People are picking up pies. We have a full pie fight climax. Meanwhile, and the closing note of our chase, I am pulling open, I am sitting down at the tear, I've got my fork and knife, and I see Hugh sitting covered in cream, and just pouting, and I see Hugh, and I see all of the pies, and I am immaculate, despite pies flying everywhere.
Suddenly in just a suit now.
Yeah. And I see Hugh, and I see the pie, and I see Hugh, and I see the pie, and then you look up from your cream-covered, oblivion, and see me with 2 plates of pie. And I offer you a plate of pie, and I sit down in the cream, and I start quietly eating. And I take a bite, and ding! This is delicious pie. You should be proud.
And yeah, I think it's just, you just see a huff. Like, you just see, the chef all curled up in pie with this piece, just kind of snort a huff. And then the how the circle comes in around the character. Just like that, it closes in on a circle, and you just see a little very proud, very sincere smile, kind of smirk that's trying to be hidden on the chef's face, and then it closes out.
Yeah. The end. An MCM production, and that's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. I love that game. It's a nice, tight little game. It is fun. It's a great game. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I really like how quickly it works as a chase mechanic.
Yeah.
Because again, I've tried running chases for other games that I do, and it always takes so long.
Yeah, I feel like this really having the options are evocative and immediately kind of tell you how the gameplay kind of pops. It has a set time limit, which lets it kind of be that sort of tightly paced thing. You can play through it in 45 minutes. It is a great little game, and I love it, and I really hope that you go and back it on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Every chase I've run since then, I've actually, not directly, but I've used these separation mechanics in order to make them work, and it makes it so much nicer.
Yeah, it streamlines it in a way, but it doesn't. It it streamlines it without sort of detracting from the fun and the intensity of it.
Yeah, like it was like I was genuinely trying to win, even though my character was terrible. But it was, I think one of the things I really liked about it is that, like, I as a player was like, I want to make the choice to intentionally, like, win, but it wasn't so complicated that it was like I had an advantage or something, or like someone, like, you can't be like, oh, I'm a super elite cut to the chase player, I know all the strategies to win. Like, there's some thinking, but the competition doesn't get in the way of the combined storytelling.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. This was a delight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really, really enjoyed playing through The Pie.
Which is the name of our short. It's just The Pie.
I guess it's The Pie now. I couldn't think of a name.
Nope. I think it's perfect. I think it's The Pie, because I think, like, the first thing we see is you put that on the windowsill and then the title card pops up, The Pie.
When I listen to this episode, I'm going to have to just put ragtime music in the background.
Yes, indeed. So, real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, so you can find me at Technicolor on Twitter, although more likely I'm going to be tweeting more often at quest_friends on Twitter. That's the actual play podcast I run. We're just on... Well, no, this is not being released when we record. When we're recording, I'm about to release a super awesome heist episode, but when this comes out, we're actually finishing an arc, so if you want to jump into some weird, future, silly stuff, kind of in the same tone of what I presented today, we're starting a new arc that is questfriendspodcast.com, Quest Friends Podcast. I don't know why I went through it again. I for some reason I thought people wouldn't know the words, but they're very simple words put together, so...
A little repetition is never a bad thing. Thank you so much for coming on Party of One. This was a delight, and now I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Kyle for coming on the show. That game was an absolute delight. Be sure to follow Kyle on Twitter at Technicolor, and be sure to check out the Kickstarter for Cut to the Chase. Help make the book a reality. I am super proud of it. I think that the stuff that is in there is super, super cool. I have read a lot of the other content that's going into the book. I think the game is super neat. The stuff is super neat. The stuff that I have written, I'm extremely proud of. I think you're really going to dig it, and I hope that you make the book a reality. You can find that link in the show notes. Then, once you're done on Kickstarter, slide back over to Twitter and follow us at Party of One Pod, then like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Come hang out with us in the Party of One Discord at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. Talk about the show, professional wrestling, pop culture, whatever is on your mind. I want to hear about it, and I want to chat with you on our Discord. If you enjoy the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review, giving us a social media shout-out, or giving a friend a word-of-mouth recommendation. Any of those things help us find new listeners, which helps us do bigger, better, and cooler things. You can also support the podcasting, game design, community support, and all the other cool projects that I work on by supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/JeffStormer. Also, if you enjoyed this show, you should really check out my other podcast, All My Fantasy Children, which I think is extremely good. All My Fantasy Children is a show on the One Shot Podcast Network about character creation, storytelling, and collaborative world building within tabletop role-playing games. Every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can find new episodes every Friday at allmyfantasychildren.com. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates or about coming onto the show, you can reach me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And with that, until next time, my friends, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.